Hello, we are going to look at a third example of finding the information requested by the infusion pump. So our problem is at the bottom of the screen. We are to set up an IV of 500 milliliters of normal saline. It was to start at 2200 hours on Tuesday at a rate of 55.6 milliliters per hour. When I look at what is requested by the infusion pump, the first thing I note is the rate. And so I'll be able to fill that in directly. In the problem, I'm given the rate here of 55.6, and so the rate 55.6 milliliters per hour. Next thing it asks me is the volume to be infused, and when I look at that, I see that right in the problem as well. So right here it tells me 500 milliliters, so 500 milliliters. So the only thing that's not given in the problem is how long this is going to take, the duration. I have information though that's going to allow me to cancel milliliters and end up with a label of hours, which is the label that I need. So I'm going to start with the full amount, the milliliters. So we have 500 milliliters. I'm going to put it over 1. And then I want to cancel milliliters, so I need to put milliliters in the denominator. So 55.6 milliliters to 1 hour. And so cancel the milliliters. And that will give me hours, because that's the only label left. Now, I know to set it up this way because I've done these problems a number of times. One of the things that can be confusing as a student when you're working on these problems is which number to start with, because there are two numbers here. So if I had tried to start the problem with 55.6 milliliters per hour, and then tried to cancel with the 500 milliliters, and that was not a fraction, so I have this. The milliliters is still set up to cancel. The problem with this setup, and the reason why I know it's not going to work, because when I would go to do my math, I would have 1 over hours, because here hours is in the denominator, and that's a problem. When I want to solve for the time, the hours, I need it to be up here in the numerator so that when I have my answer, the label on it is just hours. Okay? So I'm going to take out my calculator and I type in 500 and divide by 55.6, and when I do that math I get 8.99 and the decimal continues. Now normally we would have to convert this decimal into minutes, but because 0.99 is so close to a whole number, we're going to make this just plain old 9 hours. So the duration for this is 9 hours, no minutes, matching the format that I see here. And then I did ask us to figure out the completion time, even though it's not on the infusion pump. So when I look at my problem, this was started at 2200 hours and on a Tuesday, and we said it's going to run for 9 hours. So if I just flat out add 9 hours to this, I would get 3100 hours, and we recognize that that's an issue because there's only 24 hours in a day. So I'm better off just doing this as mental math rather than formal math. So from 2200 hours, if I add 2 hours, that's going to get me to midnight at 2400 hours or 0 hours. Then I have 7 hours to go, because it's 9 hours total, and so that shows me that the completion time is going to be 0700 hours, and because we did pass midnight in there, we move from Tuesday on to Wednesday.